Every once in a while, as a real estate agent, there are transactions that will actually blow you away. And that is what this story, this segment is all about. Because I tell people all the time that their goals are closer than they think, but this is a true story of how that actually came to play out with one of my closest friends and clients. Hey there, my name is Emily Hazard. I'm a real estate agent at Keller Williams, Greater Seattle. And if you were wondering where Kat is, she is taking a much needed break. It is summer here, the kids are out of school, and today it will be just me, but I'm going to be highlighting this very, very special transaction that I just completed. So stick around and hear how I was able to get my clients into their dream home for $1,000. Okay, so to really set the stage, I need to back up about 3 years and tell you how this all started. I met Caitlin when I was going in to have my hormones checked, and she was recently out of med school and was a new mom and had said that owning a home was always a goal of hers, but probably something that was years down the road. So when 2025 came around and we started chatting some more, she said, you know what? I think I just need to step inside some of these houses, just really get a feel for it. And I said, of course. Whenever anybody says they're ready to walk houses, that's a good step. Even if they aren't pre-approved yet, I know that they are committing to the process because there's gonna be a house that they fall in love with, and that is going to be the stepping stone that will get them to the purchase. So we started looking around summer of last year in 2025, and at this point she had her second baby, and she had said, you know, I'm not ready to look at the prices. I still know that I need to do some work on my finances. So let's just keep looking and we will chat. It was on one of these manifesting adventures with her little girl that we stumbled across a house that she loved. And I mean loved, like she could feel the magic in it. And at that point I said, well, let's do a little bit of homework. Let's see what we actually qualify for. And that was what started the conversations with the loan officer, started the conversations with her family members to see what was actually feasible. By the time she got her finances figured out, we had lost out on this house. It wasn't gonna happen. But we were one step closer to the end goal because now we had an idea of what she could afford and what areas she really, really wanted to be in. I think sometimes part of this process is learning about where we really, truly feel like we belong. And in our minds, we might have a sense of where that is, but until we actually stand in that spot, it's just a fantasy. And when we walk those spaces, we take those fantasies and we turn that into a reality. And so for her, she knew that she wanted to be on Fox Island. Well, that's great, except Fox Island is super duper expensive. Entry-level homes start around $700,000. In fact, condos are even around $700,000. So in my mind, I thought, this is going to be a tough nut to crack, but if anybody can do it, I can. There was one house that had been sitting on the market for quite a while, and it was tiny, 1 bathroom, 3 bedrooms, 1,000 square feet, but it was on an acre of land. So we went to go check it out, only to find out that there were things that were wrong with the house. Lo and behold, when a house has been sitting on the market for a long time, the first thing people ask me is, what's wrong with it? Well, it's older and it's not very clean, and it probably has some items that haven't been repaired throughout the years, but from first glance, I couldn't tell that anything looked seriously wrong with it. So we got an inspector in there to give us a better idea of what was going on. The inspector didn't find anything major, but he did find safety items that we were then able to go back to the seller and ask for concessions. In our first offer, we had asked for $12,000 worth of concessions, and that means that we were willing to pay the purchase price, but we wanted to have some help with the interest rates and the down payment that my clients were going to have to put up. So then after the inspection, we were able to get an additional $15,000 by increasing the purchase price. So now our total seller concessions amounted to $27,000. The loan officer that I set my client up with helped them figure out how to utilize Washington State's down payment assistance program. So in combination with the $27,000 that we got in seller concessions and the down payment assistance from the state, my clients actually got $9,000 back at the closing table, because they had said initially that they were going to put up $10,000 in earnest money, but the total amount that they actually had to come out of pocket was just $1,000. They purchased this house on Fox Island in the neighborhood of their dreams for $1,000. Yes, the house needs some work. They decided that they were going to tear out all of the floors because it smelled like cat piss, and they were going to paint the entire thing. But the cost of those changes amounted to about $6,000. They also decided they were going to put in a new garage door. But all of those expenses were manageable because of all of the support that they had in place. And I think that what this story and this whole episode is meant to kind of convey is that when you have the right team around you, the people who are listening to you, who really, really value your goals as much as you do, then magic happens. I don't care. I've seen it happen so many times. And this episode just proves that all of those roadblocks that you have established in your mind can be overcome with the right amount of support. So make sure that whoever you have at the negotiation table is rooting for you and really wants to see you do well, because this dream was made possible by people being vulnerable and open to the process and listening and allowing others to help them. I think that when we're too scared to ask for help, we never learn how easy it can be. So if you are thinking about making a move, if you think that there are too many roadblocks in your way to becoming a homeowner, please give me a call, because nothing is as scary as we make it in our minds. If you can remind yourself that you are capable of so much more, you're going to be able to move mountains, and I can't wait to see you do it. Thanks for watching.